for October 21st, 2020. This is a Zoom meeting, so we are going to follow all etiquette. I am sitting in for Chairman Dimple Desai to start the meeting as he is obtaining his Zoom meeting credentials and getting online. I reserve the right to stop the public meeting that I'm about to start when Dimple comes on, so he can take the meeting over. But as of right now, I'd like to call it to order, and I'd like to continue the public hearing. Public hearing A, recess from September 16th, 2020. So I'm going to read it, okay, Kim?
Okay.
All right. So, public hearing A, hearing recess from September 16th, 2020 to provide additional detail on action documentation proposed section 3F5 for the proposed zoning regulation amendment. Town of Rocky Hill proposing to add section 3F zoning policy for reasonable accommodation, Americans with Disability Act, ADA, and Fair Housing Act, FHA, creating a process whereby the Planning and Zoning Commission can evaluate and authorize reasonable accommodations on behalf of individuals, persons, entities, or groups with disabilities as related to residentially used properties.
For the record, Kim Ritchie, Town Planner, and one of the zoning enforcement officers for the Town of Rocky Hill. The hearing for this particular item, which is a new section 3.F as in Frank, is considered, it's entitled Zoning Policy for Reasonable Accommodation, Americans with Disabilities Act and Fair Housing Act. At the September 16th meeting, there was some questions and concerns on the section 3F5 concerning action documentation. In the packet, there was an update, hopefully providing some clarification on that. The process, as with any zoning change or approval, requires many of the similar things that as do other applications, and this is kind of a reiteration of those processes. However, number 3, we changed from the commission shall cause notice of the approval or denial for the application to be published in a newspaper having general circulation in Rocky Hill within 15 days after such decision is rendered. We changed that to the commission shall cause the notice of action for the application to be published in a newspaper and so on, which is standard practice. I think the wording is a little more consistent with what the town does. Instead of saying approve or deny, or we publish what's called a notice of action for any item that is on any of our agendas that has a motion associated therewith. Item 5 in that same section, 3F5, has been changed. The language did read, the commission shall send a letter of approval to the applicant. I'm sorry. What I'm proposing is, if the commission does not render a decision within the requisite time frame, and these are statutory time frames, the request is automatically approved, as it is with any other application. And the commission shall send a letter of approval to the applicant within 15 days of the date on which the period for their action has expired. The letter of approval shall state the date on when the accommodation expires, which shall be the date when there's no longer the need for the given accommodation and or modification. I think there might have been some confusion in the original language because this really subsection 5 deals with if the commission doesn't render their decision within the statutory time frame, it's automatically approved. And then we in turn are required to file a letter with an action, send it to the applicant, and then because of this is an accommodation and it's not on the land records in perpetuity, we're asking that the there be an expiration date. The expiration date will be the time frame where the accommodation is no longer needed for whatever reason. So I don't know if that provides any clarification or hopefully doesn't add to the confusion. I know Ron was the individual, I think, that pointed out some issues in the past. So I don't know if Ron specifically has any questions or any other members have any questions.
So before we go to Ron, should we go to if there's any public comment?
Okay.
I just want to let you know for record, I'm back. Sorry for late. The internet at the
Dimple,
last moment stopped.
Dimple, I started the hearing, the first hearing.
Yep.
We'll finish this one out, and then I'll let you take the floor and say your little spiel that you do before we go on to B. All right?
That's fine.
All right. So, not hearing anything from the public, do we have any commissioners that would like to speak? Dimple. Actually, you'll go last. Guy. Commissioner Drapeau, sorry.
Hi there. I have no comment.
Commissioner Moorhorse.
No comment. My comment will be made during the agenda item of the regular meeting. This is just questions and, no opinions to be expressed. Thank you.
Okay, fair enough. Commissioner Robbins.
So Kim, just to clarify the question I had in the last meeting, are we saying that we addressed that?
We had, the concern was that staff file what's called a certificate of expiration on the condition. What we would do is file, if there is an approval, we would state there cannot be a date because we don't know when the accommodation will lapse. It could lapse for a variety of reasons. But I believe that the letter of approval and that which we file on the land records will suffice in that they will have to state that it will expire when there's no longer the need for an accommodation.
Okay.
That's something we would ask for upfront when we get as I said, once again, we cannot ask for this specific.
Turn these on.
Pardon?
You can see.
Pardon? Oh, we cannot state for the specific disability, but we can ask the applicant to give us something in writing when the accommodation is no longer.
Okay, yeah, I see the change in here now. So I don't have any other questions.
Before we go on to Commissioner Desai, I just want to clarify that all present members at the meeting tonight will be sitting in for everything on the agenda. Commissioner Desai?
No comments. Thank you.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Motion to close the public hearing.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Commissioner Desai, the floor is yours.
Right. Thank you for filling in. Apologize. The internet at the last moment gave up, so I had to restart the computer and everything. But I think we know who are the seated commissioners, and the meeting is already on, so I wouldn't labor the other things that I usually say in the beginning. But again, we just follow the process that we have laid out for past couple of meetings. So I thank everyone for this meeting. Having said that, we can move to item B.
Public hearing B, hearing recess to provide clarification of terms, mixed-use building and mixed-use development, and modify language in section 4E1 for proposed zoning regulation amendment, Town of Rocky Hill, proposing to modify sections of the Rocky Hill zoning regulations related to the town center district. Add to section 4B1, residential units in one or more mixed-use buildings or as part of a mixed-use project. Add 4E1, compliance with section 8B, dimensional exceptions, and 8C, design considerations of these regulations, as well as the 2015 Plan of Conservation Development, will allow for the flexibility to create a sustainable, walkable, pedestrian-friendly development. Section 4E4, to modify the process of approval so as to require a mandatory pre-application, followed by a site plan and/or special permit process and a financial guarantee. Modify sections 6C4 and 6E2, the area and bulk requirements, density, setbacks, minimum separation between buildings, floor area ratios, for active adult housing and housing for the elderly under a special permit process.
Kim, you want to?
I had sent another email out today. In your packet, you had a definition of mixed-use building and mixed-use development. Keep in mind, we're talking about the town center area. That's what the modification was. This was a hearing that also began September 16th, and it was continued for specific reasons. The definition of mixed-use building that we're looking at is multiple uses in a single structure, which shall be a combination of a residential use and one or more non-residential uses permitted by zoning in that particular zone. The definition of mixed-use development, which I had originally sent out and then sent it out again today. Mixed-use development, the practice of allowing more than one type of non-residential use, along with a residential use or uses in a building or set of buildings, an appropriate combination of multiple uses, including both non-residential and residential uses, inside a single structure or set of structures, thereby creating a neighborhood or sense of place, complete with a connectivity between structures through use of sidewalks, parking, and other amenities. In a mixed-use development, the non-residential uses must be allowed in the underlying zoning district. And I know that at the last meeting in September, there was also some discussion as far as, I'm referring back to the minutes of September 16th, percentages of residential and commercial being allowed. That was something that the commission did discuss, and it was advised against doing the percentages to allow for greater flexibility with not only the developer, but the commission when they review a project. I don't know if anybody has any questions or if you want to take it to the public.
Yeah, we can open up. I'll open up anyone in the public who would like to speak regarding this proposed zone or proposed amendment. Seeing none, I will go through our commissioners. Commissioner Drapeau,
Hi, I'm here. I have no comments.
thank you. Commissioner Zarelli.
I have no comments.
All right, Commissioner Marhos.
I'm okay, thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Robbins.
I'm just looking at the minutes, and did we send out a final version of what we're looking at since the last meeting?
The only thing that was sent out was, in previously we had what you were given, that draft. And then there was the modifications with the mixed use building definition, mixed use development definition.
Right. I think what happened at the last meeting was we were trying to define those two in 4B1, where all the uses are listed. And I think that's what Kim provided us with the definitions, right,
Those
Kim?
should-
And I think everything else remains same.
Those should really be in the definition section.
Mhm.
It's called defined terms. Those are more appropriate in that location.
Yeah, I just recall having a comment about that general purpose statement in the beginning of the section 4, and we amended that. And so I was just wondering, I mean, we kind of amended it during the meeting. I'm just wondering, but I haven't seen the final amended version. That was just, and then it's not actually, it's not anything earth shattering,
I
but
think Ron, if I may, I think you mentioned that it was I think you mentioned that it was almost redundant.
yeah.
So I didn't know if you wanted that removed.
Well, during the meeting, we had talked about a specific language option where you could actually state it in a way that you could leave it there. It was either delete it because it was redundant, or there was some suggested language to keep it, but to provide a lead-in sentence, just rather than saying conformance with A and B is going to address the issue.
Okay. I'll have to be honest with you, I'll have to go back and actually, it's not in the minutes. I have to go back and review the video.
Recording. Yeah.
Yes, I can do that.
Commissioner Robbins, are you talking about 4E1? General?
Yeah.
Okay, so everything crossed out in the comments in red. That's what you're talking about, right? Just to confirm? Compliance with section 8B dimensional exceptions and 8C
Yes.
design considerations of these regulations, as well as the 2015 Plan of Conservation Development will allow for flexibility to create a sustainable, walkable, pedestrian-friendly development. That's what you're saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so I'll make sure we're on the same page.
Yep. That's the section we talked about. So, so it was, the suggestion was that it wasn't really saying anything new, and it wasn't really saying anything more about the sections that follow. So the question was either delete the general purpose statement or make that general purpose statement all encompassing to show its relationship with the sections that follow immediately.
Do we have a previous version? Let me see if,
Oh, the previous version is what's in the crossed out area. That's
no, meaning like the draft,
no.
because I believe, yeah, because this is what we had, because I don't have any marking from last time other than the definition. So I don't know if that one highlighted in red was added after that conversation. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
No, that was done when you had received that which is in red. You had
Yeah.
received that at the last hearing. That was
Okay.
what went to hearing.
Yeah, this was after that. So
Okay.
it would be new. And I noticed it's not captured in the minutes. So again, it's not a bit, it's more of a editorial thing, just as far as flow.
Okay, I'm looking at 4B. Yeah, because the other ones, I'm looking at the other sections. And Yeah. They don't have any lead in. As well.
I understand what you're saying though, Ron, with respect to what follows, and that might be something I can certainly work on for E1.
Yeah.
We do sort of have a introduction to what the town center district is under 4A1. But this deals more with the design and the types of things that the commission's looking for as far as certain provisions, landscaping, affordable housing. So maybe
Yeah, it
just
should,
a generic statement would
if
suffice
we
for
want
that
to,
area.
if we delete it, we got to change all the numbers. But if we put in a statement about
Mhm.
what the purpose is of the sections that follow, then it
Yep.
would flow.
So, for procedural purposes, is that something that we need to keep the meeting open for, or is that something that we can instruct staff to do because it's going to be a generalizing of what's already there?
If you see something like that as a substantial, what could be a substantial change to the regulation, you would have to leave it open. If you don't feel it's a substantial change, you would not have to.
I mean, the way I'm thinking is because these are regulations and we want to make sure that, you know, the language is appropriate. At least I'm thinking like we should keep it open so everyone gets chance, including the public, to see the language.
So Kim, this is our second meeting with this open. Do we have any concerns with that time, with the time frame?
No.
I don't think with this, no, there is no like 60-day or anything, right, Kim?
No, this is fine.
And,
We have November
And-
18th is our next meeting.
and are we just belaboring the point by making a little editorial to it? And do we as a
It's
commission
not-
just go on from this?
It's not really a substantial change. It's not
Yeah,
changing, it's not changing the regulation at all. It's just providing an overview of what's coming next.
I concur.
Yeah, I think it's mostly a numbering issue at this point, correct?
Yeah,
If we delete it, it's a numbering issue. If we add a statement, then it's adding a statement, a general statement.
statement, that's not a substantial change.
Yeah, so I personally don't think we can keep this meeting open. Let's push this thing forward if that's the only thing that's stopping it. I mean, I reserve for more comment if we have more comments for the rest of the section, but just for a general statement, I think staff can handle that, but that's just me. I'd like to hear from everybody else.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, the public hearing was only left open for a few items. It wasn't left open for the entire section. That would be under deliberations.
Yeah, I agree too, that we could leave it to staff to make the change and then move on, if everybody's okay with that.
That's
So we
fine.
should push for a public comment. Commissioner Desai, let's hear from public comment, and then we can go around and push this thing forward.
Right. I think we should then just identify the purpose, what it is, and state your, your supporting statements, and probably those things will clarify why we took certain action.
Mhm.
Okay. All right. So can I have any other discussion on this proposed changes, amendments, other than 4E1? Hearing
Motion
none.
to close the public hearing.
All in favor? How can I say?
Second,
We have a
Second.
second?
Favor?
I second.
Aye.
Okay, thank you, Alan.
Aye.
Any
Aye.
opposed? Motion
Aye.
passes. All right. I would like to move on to the open session for, for public comments. Is there anyone who would like to comment under this agenda item? Any topic anyone would like to discuss from the public?
We do have someone here this evening.
All right. Yeah, I would like to recognize Lily Chung. I believe you are here for comments.
Cool.
You're mute. You're mute. Okay.
Okay, good evening, Commissioners of Planning and Zoning Commission. I'm here today. Usually I do not attend because I'm a businessman in Rocky Hill, trying to make a living as much as I can, especially during this pandemic time. We welcome to have an AutoZone next to my building, which is 1880 Celestine Highway. With that said, however, it troubles me a lot recently by inspecting the adjacent butting area between 1880 and 1864 Celestine Highway. I noticed the area has been disturbed, and I am also confused. How is the slope being done in the current fashion, which can easily, obviously disturb my abutting area and can cause future, maybe my parking lot can cave in too. So with that said, I brought my engineer husband, Frank, here, and he's going to show you some pictures so you can better understand what I'm talking about. So let me do the share screen. And we're going to start.
Okay, this picture show you that the erosion problem, and also not restore the original gravel that I have put in my property. Next slide. Okay, this is my the adjacent property. They have a retention pond, and retention pond have been below original ground elevation. They have almost 3.5 feet. So that turned out that embankment almost 1-to-1 slope. Original maybe a 3-to-1 slope. So then you can see that and then in this picture also show you how bad that the erosion problem already start to fill up the pond. Okay, next one. Yeah. Yeah. Okay, so this show you another angle to see that the pond area and all that the embankment that he tried to establish that the erosion problem is not working. Yeah, next one. And this also adjacent to my property, and then they not restore my property as original. I'm very nice and never talk to them, and they never talk to me, and then they use my parking lot and the equipment sit in my parking lot to do the job, but he never asked can we do that or not. But we never talk to them, and they never talk to us. So I thought maybe they will be nice. They are big boys, so they can do right job for us. Same thing, you can see that the disturb that the adjacent property that the original I have it at the nice gravel there, and now they they have gravel exposed and create the erosion problem. Next one. The same thing in here. Next one. Now you can see that the embankment, and you can see in here have a hollow, that the hollow area. That means that they start to have erosion in this area. And you can see that the already start that the embankment already start to undermine my property, the foundation, the tree, and then the next one I will have the HVAC unit there. So hopefully will not create any problem again. This erosion problem, and then the embankment already corrupt. So this is not acceptable to any general people. And you can see that this picture, you can see erosion, and then some area that show in here, that the slope almost 1-to-1 to the pond. Okay, next one. Again, you can see that the start to have a severe erosion problem. This not only is not good for my property, also not good for the public waterway. Okay, because of the tributary contribution to the runoff, and the river get into the dirty, all the dirty thing going to the going to the storm sewer and then going to the river. Okay, so this just general information I try to show you. Sorry to bother you people, and I just want to put on record. I hope that your P&Z department should not issue the certificate of zoning compliance until that they should resort to their neighbor to hopefully AutoZone be a good neighbor and be a good taxpayer for the town of Rocky Hill. That's what I'm looking for. Okay, thank you very much, and then thank you for your patience and listen to us.
Thank you very much for bringing the issue and at least notifying the commission. What I would do is I would ask the P&Z staff to look into and maybe ask for the site plan from your neighbor, and maybe the engineering can look at and see what was approved and what has been done. So we just want to make sure that when the commission approves certain plans, are the owners following those particular plans. So we will leave it up to the town staff. As of right now, and I can have other commissioners chime in, but as far as I see, right now I don't see a role for the commission on requiring certain things. The commission approved the plans and as per the design from the engineer, and those plans were reviewed by the town engineers, planners, and other agencies. So what I would do is just make sure that town staff follow up on your concerns that you have, and hopefully you guys can just address it between yourself and town staff. And having said that, maybe Kim, you want to add anything?
If I may, yes. When plans get approved, we notify the applicants that they must submit an as-built to us, and they're not getting any certificate of zoning compliance without that as-built, and we need to review it as it compares to what had been proposed as well. We did ask them to string the property line specifically the southern property boundary. I drove by there this weekend and I noticed the stake only in front, on the front property corner was marked, but not in back. There was nothing placed in the back corners of the property, only on the front southwest corner of the property is there a property corner staked. That property line they have not strung the property. So the building department is on notice also that they are not to issue a CO, even though one of the processes is they need to get a zoning compliance certificate prior to the CO. I wanted to make sure they had something in writing from us that they are not to be issued a certificate of occupancy until such time as we get certain items. The as-built, we want to see that line staked out and actually strung or stake set every few feet along the property boundary on the south, because we were out there and we did see that there may be a problem. We did not know where the property boundary is, and that's for the surveyors to stake out for us. So we've been following this, we've been inspecting it, so we'll see what we find out.
All right, thank you, Kim.
I just want to also add another question. I would assume we will be in the loop of knowing that things have been straightened out. Instead of very surprisingly, one day found out they already opened with a certificate of occupancy, and the problem is left to us to hold the bag. So I want to make sure that is a point will be considered as being a long time commercial landowner in a landlord in the town of Rocky Hill.
We will deal, we will, with respect to the town of Rocky Hill and the process for certificate of zoning compliance, we will follow that as I updated you on what we've asked of them. So you will be informed of as we go through the process.
Another point is when this job I know is a rush job, and they are engineer design and then push it in and get through. So maybe nobody really look carefully related to the site plan and related to the embankment, that the potential problem. So that's why now after the construction, and you can see all kind of problem. So that's all I want to point out. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Have a
Thank
good
you.
evening. Thank you. Take
Thank you.
care.
Yep. All right, anyone else from the public who would like to speak? Seeing none, let's move on to item 4, consent agenda and the meeting minutes. Do I have a motion to adopt the
Motion to
consent
approve
agenda?
the consent agenda.
Can I have a second?
Second.
Thank you. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion passes. Thank you. Agenda item 5A. Commissioner Zarelli.
I think we lost him.
He was right there. Okay, yeah, but he was there
Yeah,
before.
He's got, you want me to read it?
Yeah, that's fine.
5A?
Yep.
Okay, it's agenda item 5A, proposed zoning regulation amendment, Town of Rocky Hill proposing to add section 3F zoning policy for reasonable accommodations, Americans with Disability Act and Fair Housing Act, FHA, creating a process whereby the Planning and Zoning Commission can evaluate and authorize reasonable accommodations on behalf of individuals, persons, entities, or groups with disabilities as related to residential use properties. Copies available upon request.
All right, thank you. I'm going to open it up for discussion. I'll go from my left. Commissioner Drupal.
Hi there. I have no comments on this.
All right. Commissioner Malhos?
Excuse me. I've got no specific comments other than to say that I think this is long overdue, and I'm really glad we're doing it. And I'm losing my voice tonight. Sorry, but that's all I wanted to say about that.
Okay. Thank you. Yeah, you got emotional. You lost your voice. I see. Let's see. Do I see? Oh, he's still connecting. Commissioner Robbins?
I'm all set based on our previous discussion and the edits that were presented. Thank you.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, I think I'm also all set. And just for the record, I think this is a good amendment to the regulation. I think addressing ADA and fair housing. So it's a good
Sorry,
addition.
I'm back.
All right. Any comments from Commissioner Zurelli?
No, I think it's a great thing.
All right. So if there are no other comments, can I have a motion?
Motion to
Motion
approve
to
agenda
approve.
item A.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? A motion passes. Agenda item 5B, Commissioner Zurelli.
Proposed zoning regulation amendment, Town of Rocky Hill, proposing to modify section of the Rocky Hill zoning regulations related to the Town Center District. Add to section 4B1, residential units in one or more mixed-use buildings, or as part of a mixed-use project, add 4E. Actually, hold on a second. Motion to approve, I'm sorry. Proposed zoning regulation amendment, Town of Rocky
No.
Hill, proposing,
No, I think,
we're in the agenda items, right?
yeah,
You
so
have
we,
to have you have to have an approval or denial to talk about it, right?
no, I think we do it later. No. So what we'll do is, I think you will read the 5B, right? And then we'll open up for discussion, and then there'll be a motion.
No, you have the discussion. First you need a motion.
Yeah, we need the motion
Okay.
first.
You need the motion first.
So motion to approve agenda item B, proposed zoning regulation amendment, Town of Rocky Hill for the Town Center District.
I'll second it.
We have second. Any discussion? I will start from my left, Commissioner DePaul.
I have no comments on this.
Thank you. Commissioner Zurelli.
The only comment I have is that I would like to engage staff for any generalization that needs to be done on 4E1 that we spoke about. And I don't know if that needs to be a condition or if we can just make that as part of the discussion notes.
Okay, just,
I would include that as a condition. To be on the safe
Okay,
side.
to the seconder of my motion, I'd like to add all staff comments, including generalization of section 4E as in Edward 1.
Commissioner DePaul, you,
I accept that friendly amendment.
thank you. Commissioner Marhos,
I'm all set.
thank you. Commissioner Robbins,
I'm good. Victor's amendment addressed my comment.
thank you. Yeah, this is just a comment. I think this is a good amendment. It simplifies the mixed-use development process, and hopefully, it won't be a burden for the proposers, of the development. So it does also give flexibility as well in terms of mixed-use uses and all that. So, but I believe it's a good amendment. So then we'll just take, I'm just going to have votes. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? So motion passes. Thank you. Item 6, A, zoning enforcement.
With respect to zoning enforcement, we have been seeing an uptick in complaints and that's been, I'd say, this whole year, as people have been staying home, as people have been getting more stressed and concerned with staying home, with losing jobs, with a variety of things. So we've seen an uptick in complaints. We've also seen an uptick in, because of the time of year, in what is unfortunately political complaints. And I say that because we're getting lots of complaints on signs that are totally unfounded. But when we get a complaint, we have to go and investigate. So we've seen a lot of that. But that said, we're trying to have people with the blight complaints to actually sign a form. We have a form that was asked a while back of our zoning enforcement officer, Dave Kronberg, to prepare a blight complaint form. So sometimes people will fill it out and sometimes they won't. Especially those gray areas where you can't necessarily see what's going on in someone's backyard or if there's tree cover. But that's something that people have, some people nowadays are willing to sign that. So we've been getting more of those complaints as well. With respect to minor modifications, there is an item that Tom Roybal did come into the office. He did sign a Mylar plan concerning the property at 920 through 950 Cromwell Avenue. You may recall that a takeout only restaurant had changed to a sit-down restaurant. Obviously not during the time of COVID, but they were approved. One of the issues was parking, making sure there was adequate parking. Parking calculations were put forth on the plan for each of the variety of uses. It included those calculations, which did pass muster with our regulations, as well as a 7'2" by 8-foot cooler that's in back of the building, immediately abutting the building. Originally, when we went out there to discuss the parking calculations, that there was a temporary cooler occupying a parking space, which was in fact a violation. They corrected that by putting forth this minor modification. So,
All right.
again, took care of item A and B. And I do have some other items under any other business, if that's okay, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, that's fine. Go
I
ahead.
just want to point out to the commission that I did include, while it's not on the agenda for action, I did include next year's draft meeting schedule. If you would take a look at that and we can render a decision on that at our next meeting, I would appreciate that. I've also invited Ed Ciccarello to our next meeting concerning the information he has on the Walk Bike Rocky Hill. He has a Facebook page, I believe a website also, and quite a substantial following concerning those issues. So we're going to designate a separate agenda item to discuss that with him at the November 18th meeting.
Yeah, and I think this is the one where he had come, I believe, not the last meeting, but the meeting before.
Correct.
And he just gave like 2-minute spiel and we said we'll put you up for a longer on the agenda for discussion. So, or presentation of what he wants to propose.
I did send him an email inviting him, and he's happy to come and discuss with us.
All right, that's great. Any other communication? I do see the order that you had.
Yeah, we do have a court order. It was granted concerning the judgment in accordance with the stipulation for the Sam Center LLC, REL Inc. which is the hotel as presented in the stipulated judgment. That was ordered as granted. There was a court hearing. I do believe people did attend via Zoom. We did have several people come into the town hall to look at the file and to ask questions prior to that hearing. So. We have an article, we have articles from the Rocky Hill Historical Society. I pass them on just for your information. And for some of the nearby towns where there's been some mixed-use developments proposed and actually approved. And I also want to point out, if you haven't got your flu shot, and I know this has nothing to do with zoning, but it has to do with safety. Rocky Hill will be having their flu shot on the 28th and 29th of this month. It's a drive-through flu shot clinic put on by the Central Connecticut Health District.
If I can, I think like to talk about the in-person meetings. I think that's what one item you wanted to talk, Kim, about.
There is a new executive order that just came out, Executive Order 9H, which part of that states that until such time as the state of emergency with respect to COVID-19 is done, municipalities can hold virtual meetings. They can hold virtual meetings. They can hold a combination of virtual in-person meetings or in-person meetings, providing the 6-foot social distancing as well as mask wearing. If somebody, a member of the public or a member of any board or commission requests, and I would certainly ask if they could send me an email if they so choose to do so. If they choose to just participate virtually until such time as the state of emergency is declared to be over, they only need to request that once. They don't need to request it for every meeting. So if you do not wish to attend in-person meetings, and at some point in time, we may go back to in-person meetings, and we certainly can, depending on the agenda. I would ask that I get an email or the chairman get an email stating that they wish to participate in this manner, and our IT department certainly can accommodate.
So-
On that subject, I think with what's been going on in the last couple of weeks, I think we're probably going to be doing virtual meetings for the next several months. I mean, the conditions in Connecticut specific, well, every state, but Connecticut in particular, the cases and hospitalizations and everything else is going back up. So I hope we're not going to jump the gun on this. So, well, when you send your email out, I'll make my,
Oh, no, I'm not sending an email out right now. I mean,
Oh, I thought you said you were going to send an email out to ask each of us.
No, I mean,
No,
if you
members.
wanted, if any member of the commission, I'm just stating that right now we're doing virtual meetings. They seem to be working well. But if there's somebody, when and if we go back, and I'm sure we'll be going back to in-person at some point, or there will be a hybrid thereof. If somebody strictly wants to attend virtually through the Zoom, they can certainly do so. They just have to request it just one time.
Okay, thanks.
Request it for every.
What I like to do is at least we get a feeling of what other members think about having virtual or having mixed attending in person, and some will attend virtual. So what does other commissioners think? Commissioners Raleigh?
The first question I would have is that how many people can the chamber hold for public comment, and should that be part of the agenda to put maximums on there? Maximum amount of commissioners and or maximum amount of public people that can come into the room. That way, if someone's not turned away at the last minute, or it's the process, you have to create a reservation, kind of like they're doing with the churches, or what's the process for an applicant as well as someone in the public if they want to come to the meeting at the town hall?
First-
So,
Well,
so I think we discussed that, Kim, right? And I think, I don't know if Kim had got a chance to talk to IT and what other commissions are doing, including the council.
it really depends. I mean, for this commission, it really depends on the agenda. This type of meeting that we have this evening could certainly have been done on ground. But based upon the way we've been going, virtual seemed to work fine, as long as technology is working fine. Our IT department does a great job. An agenda item that may be more controversial, I don't see us meeting in the council chambers. We can have 25 people total in that room. Some people may not feel comfortable attending. They have the right to attend virtually, whether it be members of the public. Even if we had we had an in-house meeting, you could have some members of the commission attend virtually. You could have some applicants attend virtually and sharing their screen. You could have members of the public both in-house and attending virtually. The concern would be if you get to a controversial subject or if we have several agenda items that may be well attended, we're going to exceed that 25. So
Do you reserve a spot as a person of the public, or that way they know they have to Zoom in and not go to the chambers? Or is it just first come, first serve and you count heads when you get there?
I would say reserve a spot. That would make more sense.
And how does that someone do that? Is it part of the same process that they do with the request a link when they do a Zoom meeting?
We haven't worked that out as of yet. This
Oh, okay.
this order just came out, I believe it was yesterday. So that's going to be worked on.
Okay. I'm for either way. Whatever way you want to do it, I'm good.
All right, thank you. Commissioner DePaul?
All have been kind of working virtually for a lot of months now. I think what this commission is doing right now with the virtual is not only effective, I think it works well for all of us. And again, to Kim's point, the virtual, as long as the virtual works, as long as the technology works, and the technology seems to be working just fine. As a matter of business, we've all made the adjustment. I don't see any reason to go back into the council chambers at all until there's a vaccine. That's my opinion on it.
All right, thank you. Commissioner Robbins?
Yeah, virtual works fine with me. It's a way of life at the moment. So, I just a little concerned about the level of public participation since we went virtual. It makes me wonder, we used to have at least more people. And all I could suggest at this point, because there's really no other option, but I could suggest at this point is, I don't know if there's anything we could do to try to make it a little bit more user-friendly for the public, about giving them a little quick use guide with little pictures, how to make it all work once you send them the link or however. But, some people may not be as comfortable with the teleconferencing technology. So anything we could do to help them better understand how to make it work and make it seem more simple so that the participation level goes up might be worth working on.
Thank you. And I think those are good points. What I have seen as well, like I think with not everybody's tech savvy. Not everybody has computers. Older generation may not, they might be, timid by using the technology. If it's if we hold meetings at the town hall, they can just come and sit there. As far as, we are practicing all the 6 feet, wearing masks and all that kind of stuff. people may feel comfortable. So again, as far as I'm concerned, I'm both ways. I mean, I don't have a strong opinion on either or. I mean, I'm flexible. But again, as Commissioner Robbins said, my intention is to get maximum participation, if possible. And and technology does get in the way. We all are tech savvy, at least we can get in and, do things. But there is other population out there who don't have, or who is not tech savvy. So I just want to be mindful of them as well. And hopefully we can increase the participation.
Chairman
wonder-
Desai, question.
Yeah.
Kim, what does this mean for you? Does this
Well,
mean
what
that
I-
you
what
have to
I
sit in
was-
the chamber now, or?
What I was just thinking was, well, what if, and I'll talk to our IT department on this, if when we have these meetings and there may be people that want to attend, and to your point, Mr. Chairman, I agree that there are some people that not only may not have computers, but they might be in a state where they don't want to go out. I always, if they call, I always offer the option of participating through, they can send their concerns in through email, a handwritten letter, a typed letter, whatever. They can do that as well. It could be that some of the commission members participate via computer. Some may come in. I, as staff, would certainly, I could be in the council room if members of the public want to appear. I will speak to our IT department as to how that would work. We have had, just so you know, when applications do come in, before they do, we as staff members sit down with applicants or potential applicants and review projects. We have had one potential applicant ask for a virtual staff meeting. So rather than come in, because of some of their applicant team members' issues, we have had a virtual staff meeting where staff was sitting at the council table and the applicant was coming in via computer, and there are computer screens at the table, which you may recall from another meeting we had on September 23rd. So we were able to view what they were saying, what they were showing us. We also have that drop-down screen, which we could use to have any members of the public, if they were to enter the council chambers. But once again, we do have that magic number 25 in order to comply with social distancing guidelines. So I think it's a discussion I need to have with IT. I think it can work. I think it may work better than giving people more options. Eventually, the library may be open for people to use their computers. I don't know what the status is of the library at present. But I think the more options we have for public participation, the better. We haven't had the types of agendas that really lend itself to that.
Right. So I just wanted to, have this discussion because, I just wanted to gauge the interest and the concerns and pros and cons of having and providing more options to the residents. I'm always in favor of more options than just one, because, people do get shut out by just having one option. So
I think because of what, to Alan's point, I think because as the rates have been rising and fluctuating, and this is more of a nationwide issue or worldwide issue, I think people's propensity to coming out to attend a meeting may be decreasing. But that said, I could certainly make myself available to be present in the council chambers if that is something the commission
Okay. So at least it's
Yeah,
a
my-
good, yeah, go
My
ahead.
feeling is I'm not interested in going to a live meeting until things really turn around, not just slightly turn around.
Mhm.
Like Guy Drapeau mentioned, it'd be nice if we had a vaccine first, but that's still like 8 months away. They're saying today it's going to be June before we have one.
Mhm.
But
No,
we'll see how
yeah.
it goes.
Yeah, so I hear, I hear both sides, and at least for us, for the commissioners, we will have an option, like we are doing these meetings virtually right now. So we are all familiar with the technology and all that. So even if we go hybrid, if two commission members are at the town hall and everyone else is via Zoom, or I mean, that might be fine as well. It just gives the public one additional option that they don't have right now. So I think whatever decision we make, I think we are going to have a hybrid system. It's not going to be either or. So, Commissioner Marhos and Commissioner Drapeau, if you guys are interested in virtual, that would be an option as well. So, all right, thank you. Communications.
I had already mentioned the court order.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've already done that.
Okay. We don't have any approved bills. Can I have a motion? Okay, go ahead.
Can I bring up something that hopefully isn't, I'm not looking for trouble, but well, I know our town committee is in the process of recommending a new appointment to the town council. And I think this is a little touchy, and I'm not looking to start any trouble, but right now, in the minutes to the last meeting, I noticed that Victor was mentioned as the vice chairman, but we never actually voted on a vice chairman. So I think we should clear that up, and which I think he should be the vice chairman. I'm not balking at that, but just to clean things up, housekeeping wise, we should probably make that formal. And I'm not sure yet if a current alternate can be an officer. I was looking for the bylaws the other day and I couldn't find them. So I think when we go to the when the town council makes appointments, we will need hopefully an alternate upgraded to a full member from our side. And I think you folks have to decide what the full members are going to be also, because one of the members that left was Frank Morrison. I think he even was the vice chairman. But anyway, I just think we should clear this whole thing up when we get a chance, just to make everything formal, and there can be nobody 6 months from now say that meeting wasn't official because we didn't have everybody in the right spots.
No, I think that's a good point. I think we can change the meeting minutes. As far as a regular member, Commissioner Zarelli did become a regular member, and I believe that was through the council. So
okay.
that correction was made.
Okay, that's great. Okay, that's
right.
Then
yeah.
With that in mind, can we elect him vice chairman tonight?
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be on the agenda. I mean, that's just appointments.
Well, I would. Well, I believe, and that may be, I don't know if it was implied in what the commission, what the council did in that. There was a town council did state that they were correcting something that they had done in the past where Giuseppe Aglico was appointed to serve in Frank Morse's place. Frank Morse had resigned, Frank Morse being the regular member, the vice chairman. and Victor Zarelli was the alternate originally. But
The original one,
they did correct that
Yep.
at a subsequent meeting by the town council where Victor Zarelli was appointed in Frank Moore's place as the regular member and Giuseppe Aglico as the alternate member.
Yes.
Whether or not that was, it was inherent that he served as vice chairman, as did Frank Morse or not, that I don't know. If
No.
that's-
Right. So what happens is normally the council will appoint a regular or an alternate member. When they appoint somebody, they will say Dimple Desai as a regular member. Now, the commission itself then appoints chairman, vice chair, and the treasurer. So as Commissioner Marhos was saying, we can have a motion and, that would be official.
Okay, well, in that case, I'll move that Victor Zarelli be elected vice chairman.
Can I
I'll
have a
second that.
Thank you. All in favor?
Aye.
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 Any opposed? So motion passes. So now he's officially vice
Yeah,
chair.
I just like getting things tied up before somebody watches a meeting and say you didn't do the right thing. That's all.
And I think that's an excellent point. And that's the reason why I had talked to our guys and I made sure that Commissioner Zarelli becomes like a regular member, because I think that was not made clear initially, as Kim said. So,
Right, yeah,
Thank you, everyone.
all right.
you're welcome.
So now,
I'm not sure, but I believe we will be making a,
motion to adjourn.
oh, okay.
No, Alan, no, he wants to say what he's going to be doing with probably a member, right, Alan?
Yeah, I think we might be working on clearing up our vacancy tomorrow night at our meeting, but I don't see it on our agenda. It might be in our other business. So I'll let Kim know if it happens tomorrow night, and then you guys will be aware of it.
Okay.
That will then have to go to the town council.
Exactly, yeah.
Okay, good.
That's good. Any other comments? Okay, hearing none.
Motion to adjourn.
Can I have a second?
Second.
All right, all in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Good night, everyone.
Good night.
Right.